My name is Jackie Harling, and I'm the chairwoman of the Republican Party in Walker County. And I would like to read a resolution our county committee just passed. Whereas on April 15th, 2024, the Walker County Board of Education, voted 3-2 to extend the contract of Superintendent Raines through June 2027. And whereas this vote was taken in a lame duck board meeting more than a year before the current contract was set to expire, and with two members, Karen Stoker and Dale Wilson, retiring at the end of 2024. And whereas board members Karen Harden, Mike Caruth participated in the vote despite having children employed in administrative roles within the school district, raising concerns about potential conflicts of interest. And whereas this action undermines the principles of representative governance and disregards the will of the voters who will elect the incoming board members. And whereas the Republican Party has a duty to speak out when actions are taken to strip power and authority from duly elected Republican officials, now therefore be it resolved that the Walker County Republican Party condemns the action of the Walker County Board of Education to extend superintendent's contract as an abuse of power and dereliction of duty to ensure impartial and ethical governance. And be it further resolved that the Walker County Republican Party hereby censures board members Karen Harden, Mike Caruth, and Dale Wilson individually for their roles in this unethical action, which undermines the principles of representative governance and erodes public trust in the school system. And be it further resolved that the Walker County Republican Party commends board member Karen Stoker for her attempt to reach a reasonable compromise of a one-year extension, and board member Phyllis Hunter for a courageous statement exposing the improper context of the vote and the potential conflicts of interest at play, exemplifying the ideals of ethical Republican leadership and service. And be it further resolved that although the Walker County Republican Party takes its action with great deliberation, we believe it is our duty to hold members of our own party accountable for actions that betray the public trust. Adopted on the 13th day of May, 2024. I have deep concerns about the recent actions of the Walker County Board of Education in extending the contract of the superintendent through June 2027 in the lame duck session. And I not only represent myself as a Walker County resident and taxpayer, I represent every Republican in this county, and it is my job to stand up and speak out. As chairwoman of the Walker County Republican Party, I believe that our local elected officials should have discretion to vote their conscience on matters of policy. However, there are occasions when a party has an obligation to speak out against actions by elected officials that violate basic principles of ethics, transparency, and democratic accountability. Sadly, this is one of those occasions. In my opinion, the three board members who voted for this contract extension abused their power and failed in their duty to avoid even the appearance of impropriety. This vote was taken more than a year before the superintendent's contract was set to expire, and there was no indication whatsoever that the incoming board members, Dr. Willison and Chief Stacy Meeks, would do anything other than faithfully and honestly discharge their duties to act in the best interest of students and evaluate the superintendent's performance impartially and fairly. By preemptively extending the contract, the board majority effectively declared that it had no faith in the ability or integrity of these newly elected representatives to make this critical decision. It is a slap in the face to these individuals, an offensive rejection of their competence, and a total usurpation of their rightful authority as duly chosen stewards of our school system. I want to applaud board member Karen Stoker for a laudable attempt to propose a compromise from what the other board members did. Her suggestion of a one-year extension rather than the maximum allowed by law was reasonable, and it was really unfortunate that her fellow board members rejected this wise approach. Board member Phyllis Hunter also deserves the highest praise for her courageous statement at the meeting. She called out the troubling context of the vote and the clear conflict of interest of having two board members whose children serve in system administrative staff participate in this decision. Her willingness to speak truth to power and stand up for all citizens and students epitomizes what we hope elected officials will do when they are in office. Furthermore, the notion that our superintendent of public schools should be entitled to a cushion of job security free from scrutiny or accountability, a benefit not enjoyed by any other position in this district, is downright offensive to all hardworking teachers and support staff. Our public schools must be grounded in trust between parents, students, educators, and the community. When this trust is violated, when elected representatives act in ways that create suspicion about their motives and impartiality, they undermine the very foundation of our educational system. As Republicans, we take no pleasure in condemning members of our own party, but we want to maintain the trust of voters. If we want the standing to call out wrongdoing at all, we must first demonstrate the integrity to police our own ranks. Failing to act in this case would be an abdication of our basic responsibility as party leaders. This is about upholding the most basic standards of good governance and the rights of voters to shape education through their elected board. The three members who subverted those principles left us no choice but to speak out. We can only hope that our resoluteness in this matter will serve as public notice. You were all elected as Republicans by Republicans. And the fact that you thought this was okay means that we as Republicans are not doing our job. I'm here today to say that ends today. Thank you for your time.